welcome to the Almond Landscape YouTube channel, home of the Kid Contractor podcast, Almond Landscape Instagram, all that stuff. We're going through trade journals again. I love going through trade journals. Helps me keep up to date and up to speed on what's going on and what's cool in the world, and in a wide array of topics and genres of work, right? I believe it helps me stay on top of like being a specifier, being a good designer, being a good contractor and consultant, of having a wide berth of knowledge, or at least, understanding of things, so that I can then find like, oh, I know these guys are good, whatever. So I love trying to be as diverse in my knowledge as possible. Jack of all, master of two, Stan Genetics says. Well, I definitely like to be a jack of all. So here we go. Hope you enjoy this video. One of a 1,000-part series of going through trade journals. I hope you like it. Bobcat. Their ads have been really horrible in the past. This one's at least a bit better. Their ads in the past would normally have like 2 blocks on there, and then they'd say something cheesy like, revolutionize your company. It's like, yeah, you can carry 2 blocks at one time, sweet. Like, they would actually have like that, and they're like, they literally would have an ad like this and say, revolutionize your capacity or capability or whatever, and it'd be like 1 block on there. It's like, sweet. That ad by Bob Kitty is doing better there, so good for them. So with that being said, there's a Takahouchi, which I'm still not convinced that's how you say it, but I'll have to take their word for it. More things for GIE. Okay, cool. As you all know, Andy Mulder's got a Takahouchi and he loves them. I talked to a Takahouchi rep a few years ago down at GIE. He's a really nice guy. He's out of Tennessee, I want to say. We'll read through some of these great quotes here. Try to determine how many labor hours it will save you instead of focusing only on what it costs. What should contractors consider before integrating new piece of technology? Well, you have to have an unwavering commitment to implementing it. Wrap your company around it. Hire the people to help you implement it if so. Very true. The biggest mistake I see is not making full use of existing technology. Dig deeper into the newest upgrades and features of existing tech before you consider new technology. That's probably good too. That's kind of like our LMN, which, by the way, thanks LMN for sponsoring this video. We don't utilize LMN as deeply as we should. We don't utilize QuickBooks as deeply as we should. We don't utilize our GPS Track It software as deeply as we should. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, so it's a good point before you go too much wider or broader. Maybe dial in on what you're doing. So thank you, volunteers that mulch cherry trees at the National Mall. That's super cool of you. We're talking about skid steer loaders and minis and all that stuff, and they're setting some big stone there. That's pretty cool. Let's see here, Ditch Witch. We love our mini skid steer loaders. Those are totally the way to go. Routing software, I would definitely agree with that. There's a lot of value to be had in routing and efficient routes and stuff like that. Look at these beautifully maintained properties. By the way, if anybody, you get a free ad, and if you see this, you want to send me a check, P.O. Box 203, Carroll, Ohio 43112. Just send checks right to there. All them free money and checks for free. Tile Star, that kills bugs. Here's this Scythe, again, that battery-powered mowing company. I'm all about it. Everybody loves Ed Wright. Everybody says Ed Wright's super nice. I don't know him, never talked to him, but everybody really talks about how much they like him. So that's good to have a reputation like that. Let's see here. So we're talking about technology again. Battery-powered mowers, folks. I'm telling you, that is going to be a different animal in less than 10 years, I believe. Let's see here. There's some of that stuff. Now looky here. This is some beautiful. Look at that truck. Look how set up that is. Dump body, gotta have it. With a tarp, gotta have it. The cab of the truck, gotta have the cab. But this backpack toolbox with an underbelly, and hopefully more underbelly boxes anywhere you can squeeze them, so you have everything on there that you possibly could need. I think is anytime you can save going to the hardware store to pick stuff up is money in your pocket. Let's see here. We're doing all sorts of stuff. So this is an ad for GIE, which I highly recommend you go and check. Well, hey, that Toro hat looks familiar. They were giving these out last year. They looked really cool. Man, those were awesome. Let's see here. Test track. I mean, go to GIE, Greenest Expo, Hardscape North America. It's really good. It's phenomenal. There's all sorts of classes. You can't walk the whole show in 3 days, and especially if you know anybody on Instagram, you're going to run into all your heroes, and it'll be super great. Let's see here. And then of course our friends of Vermeer, they were sponsors for Together in the Trades event, Summit for Couples in Business. So they get a star times 5 stars for being sponsors of Together in the Trades. We're hosting that next year in Nashville, Tennessee, for you and your spouse. You run a business together, you don't even know it. Marty Grunder's always had good stuff out there. knowing your ideal clients, that's a big deal. Okay, so we're burning through that. Grading and excavating. Here's a cool one. All right, we love grading and excavating. This my boys especially. Your power to change the world. The caption doesn't make a lot of sense to the ad, but whatever. I'm probably unnecessarily hard on Bobcat, those poor folks, but lots of excavators talking about all sorts of stuff. JCB, they're an English company, I believe. I love dozers. My father-in-law's got a Case, actually 750. Love that dozer, it's a great time. That's a 2050, that thing's a monster. Check that out, that's a way to mobilize. Oh my gosh, that's so rad. Let's see here, we're moving, loading all sorts of stuff. Colorado Springs, Colorado, and that is earth moving by the millions. They must move millions of cubic yards a year. That is pretty serious. And Ann Flagger, I'm guessing that's her name. I'm guessing she owns a construction company, very cool. So now see, John Deere ad's pretty decent, like smart, and it's all coming around the bend here on Stormwater Magazine. We do a lot of stormwater work, so we like that. How you doing, Britt? Good. You think anybody's gonna watch these? No? No? Okay.
Upside down?
Yeah, Hunter will have to flip it. But here's a stormwater chamber that stormwater comes into. It filters out a lot of, mainly like big debris and stuff like that. Hydro seeders, we love that. That is some of that beautiful ADS pipe that we love. ADS sends us some pipe here and there to promote, so we like that ADS. That gray pipe is really expensive, by the way, but it's supposedly the best out there. So Regenexx, that's all water cleaning stuff. Here's somebody checking the invert. The invert is the part of the pipe, the bottom inside there is called the invert. So when you want to talk, see, that's the thing about getting into that stuff and getting into anything for that matter. You've got to know the terminology, and the more the terminology you know, don't make anything up because people will smell that. Here's stormwater regulations, lots of that going on. Look at these filter units, rock-filled mesh sacks. That's interesting. So they use that to clean up, you know, sediment and silt and probably other stuff that they're pushing. Here's let's see here, joint integrity by curving to follow the road layout. That's pretty sweet. 5,000 feet of ADS HP pipe. How much do you think that was? Oh my gosh, that gray pipe's so expensive. More stormwater stuff here, more stormwater stuff. And, oh, International, we love those trucks. Street sweepers, ads for stuff like that. But I think stuff like this helps me stay on top of what's really going on and helps me stay just abreast of everything to make me a better specifier, designer, and consultant. Uline, everybody knows Uline, I imagine. They send out these giant catalogs. We're gonna go through this one pretty quick here, but you know, you can get anything and everything there. Not always the best pricing on it, but it's the one place you can go to get, well, I thought they sold boxing gloves, literally. That will be interesting to see what they have to say about that. I'm gonna pull that out and read it later and probably talk about it in the Kid Contractor podcast. So anything you can dream of that you need for an idea that's kind of out there, extension cord covers, of course, all this stuff. And like I said, a lot of this stuff is gonna be available cheaper elsewhere. But if you're just trying to have one supplier, you know, there's value in that. All your PPE stuff, glasses, scales, razor knives, I mean, sample collection. Oh, look at that pipe rack. That's dope. Britt, we need this for the new shop. So it's a good place to order all your stuff. I don't know, they don't pay me anything for that. Anyways, oh man, Hunter, I'm gonna turn this over, Hunter. So bear with me, dude. Hunter edits a lot of our YouTube stuff for us and he does a great job. Otherwise we would not get YouTube, and the haters are gonna say, oh, don't he make some YouTube videos? I don't have time to edit, and that's why we're just now launching a YouTube channel in fullness, you know, 3 years after saying I was going to do it, because that's the key to business, folks. Hire people at it that'll get it done and are better than you at it. I'm not a great video editor as much as I think I am and want to be. I'm not. You delegate and you make things happen, and as your company grows and grows and it makes more money, you can afford to start side projects and side things like a YouTube channel and be profitable. I mean, all this stuff is a part of the big almond plan, right? Like, we want to grow our social media channels because it helps us grow Almond Landscape. Almond Landscape through Instagram helps us grow all the other channels and platforms. And so it's this big snowball effect, right? And so as everything becomes more and more successful, we're able to do more things, hire more people, all that stuff. Like, that's America, that's how it is. So with that said, that's our philosophy, and we're trying to make big things happen here. So thanks for following along, thanks for checking it out. If you thought anything was cool in there, you want me to do more of these, let me know. But just try to keep it entertaining and interesting. Thanks, folks. Have a good one. Britt, what are you working on? Say hi to everybody.
Our shop property design.
Shop property design. Does that mean pertinent? Does it have any pertinent information in it? This is a worldwide exclusive, folks, because nobody else has gotten to see this yet. Now, whether or not we release this, then I don't know, but that is cool stuff. So But that's what we're thinking, folks. So from sunny Southeast Ohio, thanks for checking it out. Appreciate it. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you. Leaving this week was a little more stressful. And like I said, we're not booked out as much as I'd like to be. We don't have the whole fall booked up, which, and I have espoused this myself, by the way. I've puked this out of my mouth. Anybody that's not completely booked up probably isn't worth their salt. Well, the problem with that is